That's right. It's Bad Weather Fans, episode number 40 with Mike and Alex. And we have preseason basketball to talk about and some soap opera media opportunities as well to get into. Don't forget, people, please give a 5-star rating. Leave your comments here for the Bad Weather Fans podcast. It's greatly appreciated and it goes a long way in helping this podcast grow and succeed. Alex, how are you?
Mike, I'm good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fresh. I'm healthy. Getting really excited for the NBA season. We're recording this late Tuesday night, and this will drop, I guess, super late Tuesday, or if you wake up Wednesday morning, you're seeing this. And basketball starts for both of our organizations in a week. I'm excited. I mean, it's like it was good to see some preseason basketball. That I'm sure that scratched an itch you had been waiting for literally 8 months.
Yes, I was just excited as Obi Toppin when he got in the game for the first time, and he jumped for some there was some high bouncing ball going towards the baseline, and he jumped like into the ceiling, and he almost threw the ball out of bounds, and then he took his first shot, and hit like the top of the backboard or something. He was just so hyped up to be in the game. That's how I felt in the first preseason game, which is absurd. Even if we're like rookies, it's just so different because there was no summer league to like get your beak wet with like a rookie, and like you're like, oh man, you get to see them now. Right. It's just like this was it. It's like weird, So it's very exciting, very exciting. It's also very exciting that tomorrow's my last day. I'm taking the last 2 weeks off from like real work, for the year.
How does that work?
Well, I work in banking, and you have to take in investment banking, and then you have to take 2 weeks off, like 10 straight days once per year. Then because somebody else has to do it. The idea is somebody else has to do your job to see if you're committing fraud or this and that, So I was supposed to do it for my honeymoon. That never came this year. So I never put my they call it block leave. I never put it in. So then towards when the pandemic hit, I'm like, I'm not taking it now. I'm sitting home doing what, I'm going to take my time off now. So I was like, oh, I'll take it in December when we're back at work and I want to take off. Like, little did I know that we'd still be here. But I'm just so excited because that's it. After tomorrow is my last day, and then I'm done for the year. I get to concentrate on, Bad Weather Fans and, watching basketball. It's pretty exciting.
And your fiance.
And my fiance. Well, she'll be working. And my dog, Ruby.
It's more than just me in your life. Okay. What do you, you're not like, so that's interesting. You're not like afraid of getting Wally pipped or something like that. It's not like that. Like you leave your job.
No.
See, well, no, I'm just saying,
they need me there. Yeah.
Okay. Cause like from my perspective, if I were to take 2 weeks off, maybe early on in my producing, I'd be worried about somebody filling in and doing a better job than me.
Right.
And then like the hosts of my show being like, oh man, we don't want Mike to come back. We like this other guy that's filled in. So like from my perspective, it's just a very different vibe than you're like, no, it's different careers, it's different jobs, but it's just curious
it's different
on
that. From this perspective, it's different because we have a set number of people on our team. And when somebody's out, the other person has to cover for that person. So that person has double work for 2 weeks, or, they split it up throughout the whole team. So you're dying for that person to come back. I mean? Like, you come back so you can take your work back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because of course your work gets done to the lowest possible level because, people are just trying to do their own jobs, which, you know what I mean? Like, you do the things that are urgent, you got to get stuff done. But, the managers jump in and do things and whatever, without explaining my job completely, which will bore everybody.
No, I find it fascinating. I mean, I would be so when I was
different, yeah.
When I was early on producing at CBS, I was so worried when I would take days off. I was terrified that somebody would, because I thought someone would do a better job, get better guests, be more entertaining, just produce a better show per se. And I was always worried that person would be better, and then I could never fully relax. Like, I couldn't relax unless I was off when the hosts were off, particularly just one of them, but like it would really.
So you couldn't relax like when you got married? You couldn't relax and enjoy like your time off?
I got married in Virginia, so that was
in West Virginia. Oh, you were still there. Okay,
you weren't in Charlottesville. You
weren't on CBS Radio yet.
No, I moved like 3 months later. Did I ever tell you? Did I ever tell you the story about that? And I lived on my friend's couch
in Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia. Yeah, but I didn't know that.
First of all, not West Virginia.
In Virginia. I'm sorry. Same thing to me. I don't know. Whatever.
It's same thing. How about if I? Oh, that's
you just got so insulted.
It's so stupid. It's the same.
Only kidding. I made a mistake, so I made it into a joke.
Is New Jersey and New York the same thing to you?
No, not at all.
Okay, so then do you think it's fair to say like Virginia and West Virginia are the same thing to people there?
No, but do you consider both Dakotas the same? If North Dakota and South Dakota?
Well, I mean,
Yeah, it's just over the Dakotas.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
Virginia and West Virginia are two different states. First of all,
North Dakota and South Dakota.
Look how the electorate went in the states.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's like 4 people in North Dakota and 4 people in South Dakota.
Come on,
so it's
man.
like,
but I thought you would know me better. So anyway, I'll just
no, I just made a mistake.
Well, fuck, well, I mean, I'm gonna, if this was Twitter, I
still love you, Mike. Yeah,
good.
If it was Twitter, yeah, I'd be called a fucking idiot like for like 10 minutes. You know, Charlottesville, yeah, all the time. And Charlottesville, Joe Harris and the whole thing. Yeah,
WVU. I'm not like Kevin Pittsnoggle and crew. So I lived. We were in Charlottesville together. Right, exactly. We were in Charlottesville together. I got the job in New York at CBS Sports Radio, and I took the job while my wife was still finishing up her degree, her PhD at UVA. So I lived on my friend's couch for 4 months in New York, and she was still in Charlottesville. This was like a month into our marriage.
That sucked.
It was bad. That's the.
But you know what? Absence makes the heart grow fonder. You know, that's what they say. I don't believe it. I think it's bullshit. Yeah, you just miss the person.
Yeah, it was just, it was just a lot more stress and pressure because then she had to find a job in the New York area, and I kind of forced that.
Yeah.
Here we are now, where I quit. I do Uber Eats. Really worked out.
Yeah. Well, listen, you're doing other things. You're not just doing Uber Eats. You're living the dream, doing all the podcast stuff that you do on the side now and whatever. Or in the front. I don't know what's the front, what's the side, what's the back. I don't know what it is.
At this point, I'll take it
bad
from
weather
all
fans. Yeah, exactly.
All over the place. Okay, so
yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, you
You're
go
gonna get to it.
I was ready to transition, but I'll keep going.
Through your transition, did you? Yeah, an hour on our lives, on our personal lives, just what everybody wants to hear. No, I was just saying, through your transition, did you refuse to talk to the media when you were transitioning to CBS Sports Radio from Virginia?
No, I did not. I didn't have any
talk to the media.
I didn't have any media attention. I am so.
There's no blackout for you. No,
it's blackout? Just. First of all, the off the court drama with the Nets, which really isn't even off the court drama. It's just Kyrie Irving versus like media members, which there were some media members.
The publicity stunt. It was a publicity stunt.
Right. But the actual Nets team, I don't think has issues with Kyrie. They seem to all like each other, which is good. I know you're like, I mean, they do.
Waiting.
They do.
I mean, no, they do now. They do now. It's not a big deal.
He's been there. I do think there's some hope that, don't get me wrong, the guy's a menace with some of the stuff he does, and he really can annoy people. But there's a lot of it's, and I get it. I'm going to come on here and I'm going to defend him because he's on my team, and that's what I'm going to do. But I got really annoyed this past week at all these like sports hosts that were going out and ripping Kyrie and like I just found it ironic because a lot of them were ripping him, but then made it about themselves, about how I have a microphone in front of me and it's my damn right to talk about you if I want to. Like, I just don't think Kyrie even knows what he's doing. I think he says
he knows exactly what he's doing.
I think he says
exactly.
But I don't think I think to him it's just like it's all stupid. Like,
oh yeah.
I mean, he's just a narcissistic egomaniac basketball player, but I don't think he really gives two shits. Like, he did a media session the other day, and I know there's like one clip people will play, but I listened to the whole 10 minutes.
I didn't even hear it.
He was like it was over the top. He's like, that's a great question. He's like, hey, Kevin, can you repeat the first part of that again? I got the second, but I want to make sure I can get the first part. It was like so over the top, the opposite of what we saw. And I just think he's nuts.
I think you're right. I think that's exactly what it is. I think he just, and it's not even like, I feel kind of bad because I really do think he's like, got some kind of issues going on, and I really don't want to make fun of him for that. Like, I really do think he's got some kind of social issues or some kind of, he has nobody to tell him no. So he doesn't have anything, like, what I mean? Something's going on there, but this was 100%. This was a media stunt, a publicity stunt. You know what I mean? And it was just what he has to do. He just wanted to get attention. It's what Nets players have to do to get attention in New York. You know what I mean? They have to do publicity stunts and not talk to the media. It's just what happens.
Yeah, that's what happens. Oh, the Knicks aren't even allowed to talk to the media at the Garden, so give me a break.
They all talk to the media. They all talk. It's just the Daily News that I like. That's all it is, because they make up stuff.
I mean, I'm not going to listen to you tell me that. I mean, I don't really give a shit if the Nets get attention or they're new.
I had that line written down. I had to get to that one on my little notes app.
Did you really? You can do better than that. Work harder.
I know. I was typing down notes and I wrote it down. I was like, oh, this would be funny, just to get under your skin.
Hey, man. I mean, I think the truth too is that like once they play games, all of this will take care of itself. It was really, I gotta be honest, it was really fun to see Durant and Kyrie together. They played against the Washington team that was depleted of its 3 best players. So
the Washington basketball team.
Yeah, the Washington basketball team. They didn't have their 3 best players, so I know that's going to make you can't take who they
you can't take it seriously
for whatever. But I mean, just as far as watching KD
just
and Kyrie, they look good.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that one play that what's his name, Roy Hachimura, like grabbed that board over Durant and put it back in, on him. Rui, how do you pronounce his name?
Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, there you go. He grabbed that board on Durant, put it in. But like, I mean, and then I was at another play where Denny hit that buzzer beater or something. But I saw that Durant dunk also, and I was like, oh, all right. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to gauge because he's kind of moving in slow motion for his own purposes and kind of not really. It's preseason. He's trying to get back right in this and that, So I get it. You can't really tell yet. No, you're not gonna really tell until
you could tell. I disagree. Yeah. You could tell. He looked
I didn't watch the whole game, so yeah.
Well, I thought Durant looked great, and I had watched the majority of this game, all of the Durant minutes in particular, and he was moving up and down the court, running for loose balls and moving laterally. He looked really good. I thought he looked more than just a couple of dunks. I mean, his first play was a basketball move where he got the ball. The defender came at him, made a quick move, went baseline and dunked, and I was like, I yelled and scared the shit out of my kid and got yelled at.
I mean, of course, yeah. No,
but it was like, oh my God.
I would have done the same thing.
I thought he looked, and I thought Kyrie looked even better. I thought they looked great. I thought they looked great.
Yeah. No, good. The one thing that didn't look great was Durant's hair, man. He looked like he aged like 10 years over the last year. Man. It doesn't matter. I know, but it's
why do you think I'm wearing
terrible, man? Just shave the head, man. Just shave your head, Durant.
Do what you want. You're Kevin Durant. Do what you want. Don't.
But he's like balding. He looks like he's what's his name from damn it, what's the name of the show? We're moving on up to the east side. What the hell is it called? George and Wheezy. He looks
Let him do, Kevin Durant can do whatever he wants with his hair. I thought he looked great. I thought I got so excited for that team, man.
Of course.
They are loaded.
No, I don't blame you.
I don't understand. Like, explain to me everybody that's going, the Nets have no chance to make the finals. Like, who are people that like getting?
No, saying no chance. I don't think it's going to happen. But
people, I like that people hate them. I like that they've turned heel.
They're not very likable. They're really not very likable.
No, they're not likable.
They're not very likable.
No, they're not likable. They're the bad guys, and I love it. I love it. They're deep. They're interchangeable. They can do multiple things on offense. I'm super excited to see what this team can do. I think, if Durant and Irving needed to take a night off because they're waiting for minutes, they've got guys that can step right in. They've got last year's team then ready to go that made the playoffs basically that was last year's team was a 7 seed without them. So add these two in the mix. Of course, a couple of other switches here and there with Landry Shamet, Jeff Green, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm like, screw that. I mean, like, screw everybody. It's like Durant won't be good. He's coming off an Achilles. You know what? Let him prove you wrong. Let him play. Let's see what he does.
I mean,
listen, no more like prejudgments.
Yeah. I don't think he'll be the same, but if he's going to be the same, it's going to be this year. You know what I mean? It's going to be 1 year, and then it's going to be the natural age progression, like I've been saying. That's kind of why I didn't want to do it, because you're already going to be in year 3, and you got 1 year out of them, and it's just, you know what I mean? That's just me. But that we don't need to go down that road again. But I don't think the Nets are going to make the finals. But to say that they have no chance is absurd. To say they have 0 chance is absurd. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to happen, but that's just me.
Yeah,
that's not being a hater. It's just, but saying that they have no chance is being a hater. You're just a hater. Then just shut up.
I'm just excited. I finally got to see this team play. We got to see it on the court.
Of course.
I mean, I was at the firepower here. It was like, Kyrie and Karras and Spencer and Durant and Joe. And then it was like Taurean Prince is now the 9th best player on the team, not the 3rd. I was like, this team is deep. This team is interchangeable, and this team is going to go out and ball. And it's just about if they can make this work in a condensed season without much of a training camp, and hopefully chemistry comes together. But I cannot wait to finally get to see this all come together. And from my end, I know a lot of people here are Knick fans and they make fun of me and all that shit, but whatever it was, 500 and something days to wait. It felt great to see him play. And then the fact that he went out there and he looked good. And I get it. It's a preseason game, so it won't matter in the long run of everything. But for that moment, it was an enjoyable night, and I really had a blast. And I was happy. It was just cool.
Yeah. And you deserve that. You deserve that. You waited a long time and you got it. And that's it. You got it. And that's great because I kind of felt how you felt with Obi Toppin, and it's just a rookie, and I only waited a month after the draft.
Yeah.
But waiting for that draft and getting the guy that you kind of didn't think you were going to get, and then seeing him do that one dunk where he drove down, kicked it out to Knox. Knox drove in, kicked it over to back to him, and then he dunked it with the left, and it was just I was like, oh, it was one of those I didn't scream quite like you, I'm sure, but it was this is a preseason game, and we're both getting excited about it. That's how anxious we are for the NBA season to come back. And
I would say this is the most preseason excitement I've ever had for a game.
Yeah,
the Nets only played 2 preseason games. The Knicks have 4. I don't know why
they only played 2. That's so weird.
Nets play on Friday versus the Celtics, and then that's it.
Yeah,
and then Tuesdays there were so.
Kyrie said he's not playing. He just said, "I don't want to play."
Did he say that?
Games. That's it. Probably. I don't know.
I believe it. What? So how are the Knicks even fitting in all these games? When are they playing again?
They're playing. They played the Pistons twice, and then the Cavs come to the Garden twice this week.
Okay, is that like a Friday Sunday thing?
It's like Wednesday, and then I don't know. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Who knows? Who cares? But then they play next Wednesday. So that's probably why they had an extra day. I don't know. Still 2 and 4 is kind of weird. Was that probably up to the teams? I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want Durant to get more time to play. You know what I mean? You would think that they would want more. And I don't know. See how it's a choice. Yeah, I don't get that either. It's not like, even the NFL. I mean, they get the coaches get to choose the schedule if they still do that. I don't know if they still do the preseason schedule, but I don't know if they still do that. But it's weird to say nah, we'll play 2, not 4.
Well, they gave Nash gave Durant minutes. He played 24 minutes, which is a lot.
No, you had to get him out there.
It wasn't like a cup of tea. Like, oh, let's give him 8 to 12. It was here's 24 minutes, which is he's probably gonna play around 30 to 32, I would think, in the regular season games, but still a good chunk early on. First time back, 24 minutes. I was happy to see that.
Yeah. I mean, let's see how he does when he's not playing against the Wizards B team. But the fact that he was on the floor and playing against pro basketball players is impressive. It's good.
Yes.
It's good for the NBA for Durant to be back, even if he looks like he aged 12 years in 1 year. But it's okay.
You're full of jokes. Yeah. You're full of jokes.
It's true. I mean, it's true. Look at his hair, man. It's like, come on, man. Look at your hair. Do something with that. You're a freaking millionaire. Like, do something. Like, fix it up, man. Like, even LeBron tried to throw some, sod on the fairway. You know what I mean? Like, do something with it, man.
When you're that successful,
terrible. Shave your head.
You're that successful, that confident. You don't need. Who cares what other people are saying about you? He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't care. But don't you want to look good? I mean, he looks terrible. He looks actually terrible.
I'll defend him. I think he looks great. I disagree.
It looks great, man.
I disagree completely. You've been so annoying on Twitter. You really amped it up. Like every time I see your tweets, that's why I had to mute you. I just can't take it anymore with all of these 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 make fun of the Nets tweets. It's just so stupid. And then the other thing that's really starting to bug me is because of all the people that are following the show that I've then started to follow back. My timeline becomes like a Nick feed timeline. I'm like, I just don't. I'm not going to engage in it. But it's like, you guys as Knicks fans should have every right to be excited for what you want to be excited about, and you should have every right to have an opinion and a conversation about what's going on. I just don't want to see it or be involved in it or be reminded of it. That's been annoying. So I think I have to start muting everybody, not because I don't like them, but because I just don't want to fall this web of Nick traffic. And then it just gets my head in a different place.
Sucked into a debate that you don't care about. Yeah. No, I
don't need to see it.
No, I understand that. You don't want to talk about Mitchell Robinson and his dumb fouls early in a game. I don't care about that. You'll listen to me complain about it on the podcast. And that's that's it. You don't care about it every day, 24/7.
How's he look? Is he looked okay in these games?
He's looked okay. He's been hustling and stuff, but he's been picking up stupid fouls. I mean, the thing that's been bothering me about this preseason is the rotation from Thibs or Thibs. Who cares? The coach's rotation.
Just go,
the coach's rotation, where he's starting Peyton Burks, RJ, Randall, and Noel, And it's just weird. It's like, you turn these games on to see, especially the preseason, to see the kids, and it's just like, ugh, you gotta like I got all hyped up. But the first game, the preseason game, it was one of the, either it was the first or second night of Hanukkah, and I went to my my future in-laws house for dinner, and like I kind of was like had my eye on the clock. I wasn't rushing dinner for a preseason game, even for this one, but I was like, I made it in time for the beginning of the game, and I turned the game on. And I'm like, ugh, I could have had like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I didn't need to like rush for this, and it was just like, fuck. So it's just it's kind of frustrating with that, and then it's just like, why did we sign these guys if this is the kind of off season you guys were all telling me that you wanted to, they didn't sign anybody, they didn't make the big splash, they didn't make a trade, they didn't do anything, they just treaded water, signed bargain basement players, and they're like, oh, this is because we're rebuilding, we're playing the kids, and then in a preseason game you don't play the kids, the first game you don't play quickly, and he's one of your first round picks. It's just bizarre. It's preseason, so maybe he's just trying to get the veterans to get their feet wet. They haven't played in a while. The kids, they got those young legs. They'll be fine. But I just, I'm just getting a little concerned that Alec Burks is going to get 30, 35 minutes a night. Things like that. Like, and he stinks. I know he can shoot. He averaged whatever 17, 18 points a game last year, but he's put on 6 teams in 5 years. I mean, there's a reason for that. So it's just. If these guys are so great, if Elfrid Payton's so much better than DJ Augustin, why did Elfrid Payton get 1 year's whatever, $7 million? Right. I don't even know what he got. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just warped Homer thoughts that go into people's heads. They're just defending it, and what the Knicks are doing, they're tanking in disguise. And if you want to believe it or not, that's what they're doing, in my opinion. And it's just frustrating because if you're doing that, then play the kids. Like they had one stretch in the second preseason game where they had the lineup that every Knicks fan wants, not really wants, but what would be my favorite lineup, and I think majority feel that way. Hint on the poll question later. It's Quickly, Ntilikina, RJ, Toppin, and Robinson, and that is the lineup that you want to see because, Ntilikina there's not a lot of shooting and this and that, but whatever. Just get these, just throw them out there and let's just see. You know what I mean? Knox looks like he stinks. Dennis Smith Jr. looks like he stinks. Like these guys are going to be out of the league in a couple of years. You know what I mean? Unless they really turn it around. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's just. Get these kids out there quickly. He's got some bounce, man. Like I think you'll like him if you see him play. I'm not comparing him talent wise. Don't get me wrong. What I'm about to say, but quickly has that kind of. No, he's got that kind of bounce that like John Morant has in his toes, where he runs around on his toes. I'm not saying it's John Morant. I'm saying he's got that kind of like bounce to his step, where it's just like it seems like he's playing on his toes. On like the balls of, you know what I mean? Like not the balls. I don't know. What do you call the top part of your foot? Is it like under your, I don't know what you call it. Is it?
I'm gonna leave you on an island for all this stuff.
Oh, thanks, bro. Okay, so he looks like he bounces around very well, and he's got a good jumper. So just throw those guys out there and let's see what happens. In my opinion. But
Did you see the John Morant dunk from the other day?
Oh. Yeah, went down with the cock back like Sprewell.
That was amazing. I know we're talking about this. You need to see. If you haven't seen it, just Google. Just go on Twitter and type in John Morant. But I mean, it's really cool when you see somebody with that quickness and his size. He's light and frame, and he just bounced like he was on a pogo stick for this two-handed dunk, and it was sick.
Yeah,
I was like,
whoa. No, it was,
and that caught my attention, which is hard to do now because we've seen so many amazing dunks. But there's something about being that small in a live game with that athleticism. Was awesome.
Speaking of Twitter, people coming at you for stupid things. CP of Knicks Fan TV put out a tweet. He's like, oh, I missed him by 1 pick again. You know what I mean? Like, and people went after him. He's like, oh, so you hate RJ Barrett and blah blah blah. And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. He's like, bro, like you guys relax. It's freaking this early. Like I'm just saying, like John Morant's great. Like calm the fuck down.
No,
you know what I mean? It's pretty much what he was saying.
You like RJ, but you trade RJ for Morant.
Yeah, of course. I like RJ a lot, but John Morant is like a different level. And even Zion, I would trade Zion for John Morant right now too. I mean, John Morant looks like Zion looks incredible. Don't get me wrong, but John Morant is like the total package. If he can stay healthy, he's Westbrook 2.0. You know what I mean? With a better jumper. So it's just. It's funny with that kind of stuff. Also, people on Twitter going after you for no reason. I put out I was watching some LaMelo highlights from the last couple of days, and I put out a tweet. I was like, LaMelo reminds me of like is the reincarnation of Jason Williams, like the white chocolate Jason Williams. And people were like, "What is wrong with you? Are you crazy? Are you stupid?" I'm like, Jason Williams was never an all-star. Like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Like, I'm not comparing LaMelo Ball to Magic Johnson.
No.
You know what I mean? Like,
no,
relax.
Jason Williams was a lot of flash, and he had a lot of incredible plays that we had never seen before, like behind the back, then use your elbow to bounce it to the guy on the other end. But that was
a rookie sophomore game he did that, by the way.
Whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
it wasn't even like in a real game. Yeah, exactly.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Kings took the next step when they dealt Williams for Bibby.
Right.
And then they became a team that had like, Bibby wasn't as flashy as Jason Williams, but they got a more stable point guard that could lead a roster that, didn't quite get to the championship. They lost the Lakers, but
well, the referee
Jason Williams was like
conference finals. Don't forget that, Tim Donaghy.
But anyway. The game 7. Well, that would we'll have to have Pollard on to talk about that game.
I would love to talk about that. That'd be crazy.
But that
I have to rewatch it.
Bottom line is Mike Bibby was a better upgrade. But to your point, Jason Williams was like
a lot of.
He was fun, but he was. I think if the Hornets get Jason Williams with that pick, they'll be disappointed. I think I would be disappointed if that's what he
better off keeping Rozier and drafting someone else.
That'd be a major disappointment.
They still have Rozier, but I'm saying they would have been better off just running with Rozier and getting another rookie if LaMelo Ball turns into Jason Williams. I'm just saying he plays like him because he had that first game he was in the preseason. He had like 0 points and like 4 assists and like he still his assists made the highlight reel because they were like behind the back alley oops this and that and it looks incredible. It looks fun. But is he the whole package? I don't know. I haven't seen him play enough. I'm not watching, NBL games. I don't know if you are.
And these guys are so young. It's so hard to determine. Like we still don't know what his older brother is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're trying to figure out what LaMelo is going to be like. I mean, come on. Like Lonzo's only a couple years older, and he's not even close to tapping what he can be as a player.
Yeah. No, it's true.
So it's just, it's an impossible thing to gauge. But why are people just so rude on Twitter? I've had my last wits with it. I don't even. I'm not even.
It gets you mad. It really gets you like legit mad. I don't care. I just laugh about it. Like, how stupid are you, man? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? I'm not saying.
I don't know. I'm more sensitive than you, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes things get under my skin, but that's when I just put the phone down. I'm like, all right, these people are crazy. Let me get that. Yeah.
Well, I put this one tweet out about the Nets and Knicks. And I talked about how like there's a rivalry now, and if you don't think there is, you're crazy. And the Knicks fans that pretend they don't like the Nets, and people got pissed at me for saying that. And that I put out a tweet.
Nets have no fans, and they go down that road, right? Like the whole thing.
But all of it. I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'm a nice person, I promise. And then I put out a tweet the other day. I put a tweet out the other day about a hypothetical about an Uber Eats order, and like people went crazy.
Somebody cursed you out, right? Or
cursed me out. I'm like, this is halfway a joke. Like, that's why I'm like scared to do it. I'm scared to put anything like personal on there. Like now it's like anything that's like a family related item. You go into Instagram, you're going to Facebook.
Well, didn't Al Dukes respond to your thing about the tip or something? Is that the one you're talking about?
I think he did. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even. I wasn't even going to question what he was saying.
Sorry, Al. Yeah.
I don't even know. With Al, I was like, is he joking around or is he serious?
He's never serious. Yeah, you can never tell if he's serious or not. Everything's a joke, but that's a shtick. Right. So I mean, that's cool. It's his thing. But no, that was just goes to show you people are miserable or they just want a reaction all the time. It is what it is, and I give into it sometimes, and a lot of times it's just because I'm bored. But it is what it is. That's life. People, they want a reaction from people, and it's up to you to give it to them. And that's all.
I'm putting down the phone. I'm putting down the phone for Nets Warriors Tuesday, December 22nd. I'm putting down the phone. I'm just gonna relax. I'm gonna watch.
Can I text your wife? Can you give me your wife's number so I can text her?
412 555. Yeah. 855-212-4227. 855-212-4227.
Is that CBS Sports Radio or something?
You got it. That's the line. Give him a call. Right now, you'll get to talk to
Zach.
JR Sports Brief.
JR Sports Brief. He was on today with Moose, actually. I heard him on the fan.
Oh, was he?
He filled in for Maggie. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, JR does weekends sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear him on Saturday sometimes when I'm driving around.
JR's a big NBA guy.
Yeah. I like him. He's good. He's a good dude. I used to follow him on Twitter, but I cut down a lot of the people that I follow. Just I don't need a lot of noise like you. Like you hate the noise. It's just if I unfollowed a lot of things recently, actually, like ESPN's account, like things like that. It's just I don't need that. And I have that new feature where you can like follow topics. So if something important comes up, I'll get it anyway. You know what I mean? Like you can follow like the Knicks topic, you can follow like an NBA topic, and so you see the tweets anyway. I don't need to see somebody taunting the Knicks because they thought the Knicks were going to sign Giannis when no Knicks fan thought they would sign Giannis or wanted Giannis. Well, they want him obviously, but you know what I mean? Nobody was like it was 2 years ago. It wasn't like the Durant stuff.
No. I think it's great for the NBA. I think that Giannis re-signs with Milwaukee. and that Antetokounmpo is going to be a buck. I mean,
nice. Pronounce it nice. That was
nice.
You did it right.
Yeah, I did that on purpose. I wanted to show off. I do it very well. I hate.
You did that smooth too. It was like about I don't know. Antetokounmpo. Did I do that right?
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I can do it really well. I don't understand. I'll never understand. I understand if you can't get Antetokounmpo, and I think you could say both ways, Antetokounmpo or Antetokounmpo with a P or B. What I don't understand is people that say Giannis. Like, how is that even still a thing?
Giannis.
It's Giannis. Like, how?
Sometimes I say it by accident, but like I know it's.
How are people saying this by accident?
I don't know.
The MVP twice.
Looks like Gianna. I don't know, like a girl's name, Gianna. I don't know.
You wouldn't say, oh, the MVP was Karl Malone. Like, no, you'd say it's Karl Malone. You would know who it was, right? Oh, who won the MVP? It was Gnarls Barkley. No, it was Charles Barkley. Come on.
I think you're crazy.
Yes. Okay, you have a good voice. Do you ever sing?
There you go. No, I don't. My sister sings, actually. She's a good singer.
I can hear it.
My mom could sing, and my grandmother was actually an opera singer. She's actually a really great singer.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. See, all I sang was one bar, not even one bar, and you got it.
Did you ever sing that song, We Are the New York Knicks? Do you know that song?
Of course. We are the New York Knicks. We are the New York Knicks. They go New York, go New York.
How do I mute you?
I don't know. I'll do it for myself. No, I'm sorry. But anyway, no, that was good for the Bucks to keep Giannis. So that was great. And the other thing is that Mavericks fans have been pining for Giannis the last year. Boy. Have you noticed that? They've been trying to. They're like, oh no, we're going to sign Giannis. We got the max slot. We got this. We're going to have Porzingis and Doncic and Giannis. And then they made all these memes and all these photoshops, and Giannis stays with the Bucks, and nobody clowns the Mavericks. You know how that works. Well, but the Knicks, the Knicks fans don't even make these pictures, and it goes on ESPN, Bleacher Report, and everybody, and they're like, show those pictures, and it's like, we didn't even make these. Why are you trashing us? Like, what do we do? Everything comes back to the Knicks.
What was it? What did Mav fans really think that, or you just?
They really did. They really did. I swear to God.
But it wasn't like real people that thought that.
Well, it was the Mavs fans, like Mavs Twitter, like the MFFL. I don't know. Is that their thing? What does that even mean? I don't even know. Do you know what that means? Like their hashtag? It's like MFFL.
I don't know. I don't know Mavs hashtags.
I don't know. Tweet me that. Thanks. But at Nick Central. Thanks. But so they were like over the last year or so, I've been getting into to beef with like a lot of Mavericks fans, and they're like, "No, we're gonna sign Giannis. We're gonna sign Giannis. Don't worry. Porzingis is not even the future." And then all of a sudden, Porzingis is not their guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
First it was, and now he can't stay healthy. It's like, we don't even need him. We're gonna get Giannis with Luka. It's like, okay. And now what? Now what you got? Now where do you get signed? Who are you signing next year? Isaacs? What's his name from the Magic? I don't know. Whatever.
Jonathan Isaacs.
Jonathan Isaac, there you go.
Not everybody can have the flexibility that the Nets do and the depth that the Nets do. Boy, are they deep. Is that the deepest team in the NBA? Also, they didn't trade away all their draft picks. The Nets have every draft pick coming up. It's not like other teams that had to even like the Lakers had to mortgage everything to get these picks. The Nets have all their picks. They've got a deep roster. And they've got a team ready to go. I love and whenever I bring up the Nets, this is your response. They do. You just can't wait because you're like that first night when the Warriors come out and Steph Curry goes for 26 and 8, and Kevin Durant goes 3 for 14 from the field. You'd be like, "Oh, I told you so. I told you so," or whatever. When the Nets are 3 and 26.
I'm not worried yet. If the Nets are 40-2, I'm gonna be like, fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's gonna piss me off. But if the Nets are like a 500 team, like
they have too much talent to be 500. They do. And I try to be. Me.
I'm only kidding around. I'm exaggerating by that.
I understand, but me. Like I am the most level-headed fan you'll probably meet, and I will not put the cart before the horse, as the kids say.
Mm-hmm.
And I will not be that guy. But I've seen the Nets over the last couple of years. This is by far their deepest roster, talent-wise, that I have seen, by far.
All right, if you say so. I just tweeted out, what does the MFFL hashtag mean? So let's see if somebody responds by the end of the show. But yeah, no, the Nets do have a deep roster, and they'll be okay if they all stay healthy and they all play up to their potential. But that's the biggest question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kyrie going to stay healthy? Is Durant going to stay healthy? Probably not.
Kyrie probably
is Durant going to grow hair back? We don't know what's going to happen there. Maybe he'll all of a sudden have hair like LeBron. like one day, you know.
Hey,
How do you not have a friend that's just like, dude, like Kevin, like, come on, bro, like, can you fix the shit up here? Like, you know, you don't have somebody in your life that's like that. Do you have somebody in your life that's like that? If you show up and your hair looks like this, like one day, is there somebody gonna be like, hey man,
my wife,
you know, dude, can you get a fucking haircut? Exactly, your wife. Like, do you have somebody that's in your life like that? Like, does Kevin have somebody in his life? Not a wife, but just like a friend, like somebody that can do that.
This is all you've
losing
got.
My voice because it gets me upset. It's like,
this is all you've got now. You can only come on this podcast and be like, Kevin Durant's got bad hair. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I
don't get it, man.
That's all you got. I mean, Durant looked good.
That's all I got. That's not all I got. But as you've heard the greatest hits already, I don't need to go through the list again of the things of how I think
number one.
You know, number one.
Number two.
Get hurt again. Number two is that no player is coming back from an Achilles injury. It was the same besides Dominique Wilkins.
He's going to come back from the Achilles injury.
Age progression.
He's going to come back and be even better than he was.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a better version of himself. He might take his game to a new level because he's rested.
That makes sense. By the way, I think I figured out the hashtag, the Mavericks hashtag, the MFFL.
That's all you're thinking about now.
No, I'm trying. I'm hoping somebody responds, and everybody responds to all my tweets every 5 seconds. And this one, of course, while we're on a show, I'm trying to get somebody to give me an answer. And I think it's Mavs fan for life, which is kind of cheesy. Let me ask this one guy that I tweet with, a Mavs fan that follows.
Can you share your screen so we can see your live interaction? If you're watching this on the YouTube page,
Connor. What does it mean? Let's see what he says. Okay. No, I'm not sharing my screen because I don't know what's on it. So I have too many important things. I have to get ready for that.
Oh, I thought you meant there's like bad stuff on there, like things you can't.
Well, there might be. I mean, I have like personal like docs and like icons saved on my. I'm very sloppy with my computer sometimes, and then every now and then I'll throw it into folders and make it look nice. But right now it's not very nice. I have like screenshot of finances over here, or some kind of health bill or whatever. You know.
I hear you. I
people are crazy, man.
My computer today. That was fun.
Yeah. It is what it is. What are you gonna do? Yeah, it does. Somebody responded to me. Shout out to AYOSIRUS. So Ayo Sirius goes Mav fan for life. That's what it means.
So the point is, Giannis Antetokounmpo did not go to the Mavs. So you're in a good mood because of that. I understand, and I'm glad he went to the Bucks because of everything that he'll bring to the city, the team, and boy, they mortgaged everything in the trade for Holiday. They better have had him, or else they were really screwed if they lost Antetokounmpo too. So it's good for Milwaukee that they got him. I'm happy that you can give a. Did you tweet at any Mav fans today? Did you go after any Mavs fans? Did you?
Of course I did.
Like, hey, where are you now, guys? When you're talking about the Greek Freak, did you have any of that from you today?
Tons. I went after them because they were going after me. They were vicious, bro, after me, man.
Okay,
vicious.
I mean, like I said before, that's why
because I was giving it to them.
I had to mute you because I didn't want to see any of this stuff. I felt bad about it, but so there was a back and forth.
Yeah, there was a good back and forth. It was one of those like I was. I just typed it because I knew that they were out there, and there was of course a lot of those conversations I found. I took a couple screenshots. I'll send them to you later. It wasn't worth sharing. I thought I would share them, but it was a couple of conversations where you see them, and then all of a sudden it's like my tweet. Then this tweet has been deleted by the author. Then my tweet. Then this tweet has been deleted by the author. Like they went back and they're like, oh shit, you got to delete these before this guy comes after me. It's kind of pathetic. Just keep your tweets out there, man. Like it's just
you've opened my eyes.
It's just a sports debate, man. Like come on, guys. Like who cares? Anyway, open your eyes to what?
Twitter.
Just
all of it.
Change your life.
I mean, just like the exchanges that can go back and forth, like the rage that's in people's hearts. But people just get so passionate about their sports teams. I mean, they just freaking love them. That's why I said, like, if anything bad happens to the Nets, I'm just gonna to hide. You won't hear from me. I'm such a weakling. I'm not going to show my face. Absolutely not. I don't have any of that courage. I don't have any of that stability in my beliefs. I'm gone. Like the Nets, something bad happens, no shot. See you later. Delete the account. Move everything over. I'll use my burners to go after people. Like I'm not going to go near that.
Have you ever had a situation that was like a debate where somebody was like such an asshole to you that you wish you had a burner to go after somebody? Have you gotten to that level yet?
No, I don't think I've gotten to that level yet.
You're not crazy.
I have seen maybe with you the first time.
But instead, you came to your senses. You're like, "Hey, do you want to come on my podcast?"
Yeah, exactly. So
if you want to hear that interview, go to the last episode 39 of Bad Weather Fans. We repost it from Mike Delivers podcast.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I've ever gotten that far or like really gotten into it. I will say this, that I've definitely deleted some tweets the next day after drinking that I was like, that was not good.
Okay. Well, if you're drinking, I understand that.
But no, but that's not an excuse. It's just what happened. And then I'm like, the next day, I'm like, I don't need that. Let me delete that.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. And my guy Connor got back to me, Mad Fan for Life. He said also, so that's what it is. Hashtag MFFL. That's just the corniest hashtag ever. The absolutely corny. I'm sorry, Connor. At CHRABAL 41. The corniest hashtag ever is hashtag MFFL.
Who has more
wins? Cornier than.
So yeah, I mean, I was gonna say who has more wins. I know the answer. I have this fear. I have this fear of the Knicks being better than everybody thinks. This has definitely been on my mind the last couple of days.
Why is that?
Because I think they have.
Why do you think that?
Because I think their young players are going to play well.
Well, that's the thing. People tend to, when there's a young player, this happens every year, and it's understandable because people only react to what they've just seen. The recency bias, which is a term I fucking hate, but like people just seen it, and they think that a player is going to be the same thing the next year, and that's the thing. Like players can get better.
Oh,
like,
I know.
It's possible. It does happen. You know what I mean? Like people take steps, especially a 19-year-old kid, 20-year-old kid like RJ Barrett. You know, if you're Kevin Knox, you're not taking a step. You're just actually regressing in front of our eyes. And which is incredible. I don't know. This guy in summer league, he would look like he was, going to be the second coming, and then now all of a sudden he's just like garbage. He threw up 2 air balls in the preseason game. I don't know. I know it's preseason, but like, come on, dude. Like, I'll give you one.
You can definitely get better. I would expect if you don't see growth from RJ Barrett, that'd be a major disappointment for this season. Be the biggest disappointment. I mean, he's your crown jewel player. I mean, he's your
he's supposed to be the guy.
Prospect.
And him and Toppin and Mitch are the only prospects the team really has. The rest are just fill in the blank guys. I mean, quickly, you never know what he can be. I mean, but he's a low first round pick.
Those are the 3 untradeable that they build the team basically.
Yeah.
Unless it was
the James Harden or something. And even for him at this point, I mean, like, what is James Harden on the Knicks without RJ, Mitch, and the Toppin? Like, what is that?
You'd be. I mean, it would be like
you win 45 games and be like, okay, come over here. Like this,
maybe.
Yeah.
Harden goes for 76. Knicks lose by 22. I mean, that's what.
It's like, what are we doing here? Yeah.
He had negative assists. You can do that.
You can do.
How did that happen? Yeah, you wouldn't know. You want to keep your core. You want to build around him, and then
for sure.
When you progress to the next stages, you make different decisions. But in this moment, at this time, you wouldn't do that. I know I've brought this up a lot, but I look at guys like, and that it's improved. I look at guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Karis LeVert, Jared Allen. They've all improved. They've all gotten to a place where they're better players, and now they're not asked to carry as much of a load. And that's why it's like the storm has hit for this is the Nets title window. But guys can get better. You can see it, and that's kind of the cool part about a team that's rebuilding. I mean, for real, like it's fun to see guys get better. It's fun to see guys grow, and you'll see it in real time too. If you're watching every game, it might feel like this, but you can see it happening, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, somebody like Mitchell Robinson, I know he's 22 or whatever he is, but this is your 3rd year, and I know it's preseason. I don't want to pick on the guy in preseason, but like you're still picking up stupid fouls. Like you're still getting your 5th foul early in the 4th quarter. Like you're still doing that, man. Like come on. And this is why you're never going to start, is because we need you like in the game longer. You come in like middle of the 1st quarter, end of the 1st quarter, you have more time in the meat and potatoes of the game when it really matters. You know what I mean? It's like, just get your shit together, man. Like, I love Mitch Robinson, but like, you can't be on the floor if you can't stay out of foul trouble, and you can't be helpful if you can't be on, if you're on the floor. It's very, wise words.
But I mean,
and Noel's good. I like Noel. He's the one signing I really did like this offseason. Is Noel. I like him. He's a good bench big, and he can block shots. He can get up. Whatever. What were we gonna say?
No, I was. Well, yeah, I think Noel gives him depth, but I mean that is part of being 22 years old. That's why you brought in a coach. I mean, we've talked about this too. Like you bring in a coach like Tom Thibodeau, and your thoughts are, and like got to make him smarter, got to make him better, got to make
Mm.
him do the things that you've talked about, alluded to just now. You don't want those to be seen. You've kind of moved on, or you want to move on from these tendencies that's happened. Have you seen Alex fat James Harden?
I have actually. I did.
I just saw this for the first time. Boy,
Is he really fat, or is he just wearing a lot of layers? Like,
I don't
does he have
know.
like a towel under the jacket or something? I don't know. Yeah, I saw that.
He looks a little chunky there.
He does. He looks like the kind of guy who's trying to get traded.
That's the best move ever. You know how I'm going to get traded? I'm going to eat my face off.
I'm going to become Pablo Sandoval and just gain like 300 pounds. Remember him? Baseball as the Giants man.
That'd be
like
crazy.
Ballooned.
Could you imagine if James Harden forced his way out of Houston? And how did he do it? By eating? Uber Eats. Oh, I got to get Harden on that. Yeah. What's your favorite take on what is Miller? Oliver Miller. God.
Remember him?
Yeah, of course. Of course I remember Oliver Miller. Yeah, man. He was a big boy too.
He's the fat guy that everybody.
That's why I didn't want to. I told you I didn't want to make this trade, and you heard me say that from the beginning. I was like, "You're going to trade one guy." I know you were in on this, but one guy for these 4 players, like you just kill that depth. I'm so glad they didn't make that move.
Yeah, well, I was saying from the beginning that they didn't have enough to get him anyway, because you got to give up Kyrie or Durant if you're going to get James Harden. You're not going to give up Dinwiddie and LeVert. I know LeVert's up and coming, but you're not going to give Dinwiddie, LeVert, and Jared Allen and maybe a first-round pick and expect to get James Harden. You know what I mean? Rockets just had to dump Russell Westbrook for John Wall. You know what I mean? A protected pick. Like, they're not going to give up James Harden for nothing. You know what I mean? Then they should have done the Westbrook to the Knicks cap dump deal and just tank. You know what I mean? But they didn't want to do that. I don't think they have their pick this year either. So I think that's part of the reason too. But
I'm looking forward to seeing Wall play. I'm kind of curious how that's going to all work out there. I'm curious to see, and I'll say it from watching the Nets Wizards game. I think Washington's going to have a solid squad.
Hachimura, man, Westbrook is going to really turn some heads. Yeah,
Westbrook, Beal, Bertans,
Denny. Yeah,
he looks smooth.
He looks good, man.
They've got good. I mean, they feel like they've all the guys at the same position, but I mean, they've got. I mean, they'll be kind of interesting to watch. I think the East is deep. I think the East is really deep. I think, like,
and they have a good coach, right? The Wizards. What's their coach? Is it
Scott
Brooks? Right? Scott Brooks is their coach.
Still there.
Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the East is deep. Like, you look at all of these teams. Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Boston, Indiana, Miami, who was in the NBA Finals last year. Atlanta's dramatically improved. They've gotten a lot better. I mentioned Washington. I mean, they're going to be solid.
Did you say Toronto already?
Toronto. I mean, I think they'll probably take a little big of a step back.
They'll win 40s, high 40s.
But they're not. You know what? They're not. This is, and I know this is kind of universal for the league, but they're not going to be playing home games in that Toronto crowd and getting that energy. I think they're gonna lose some games because of that. I think they got games that way. That's going to hurt them.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. It's a lot for, it's kind of part of the reason why the Giants were able to go into Seattle and beat the Seahawks. I mean, there's no crowd. I mean, one of my Giant fans friends, my buddy Mike, he's like a Giants homer, and he was just like getting on me. He's like, how can you say that the game would have been like, just because there's a crowd, the game would have went differently? I'm like, yeah, it probably would have. I mean, one turnover or something, and then just the crowd's going nuts. And then, the Seahawks scored a touchdown. I mean, can't recite the game log to you, but you know what I mean? The crowd is such a factor. And that's why these teams go nuts for this home field advantage, especially in football. Yeah. Because when you're on offense and the crowd and you're on the road in a big game, like your crowd is going nuts, like you get in any stadium, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a big deal. And that's, and it's going to be, it's especially basketball. It's all about momentum. You hit that big shot and the crowd's going nuts. And that the whole announcer thing, when there's a hot run or something like that, and the guy misses that big shot that would have been, if he hit that shot, the roof would have jumped off the building, fell off, the place would have exploded.
Yeah.
And I had to get that out.
I will be curious to see though what the home road records are like for teams and how they end up and how they play out. If it seems like they're 6-2 at home, but 1-7 on the road, like the Sixers last year. Do you remember the Sixers last year had these incredible splits?
They did. I don't remember that.
Pre-bubble, the Sixers were like the poster child for a Jekyll and Hyde team. They were incredible at home. Like, I don't know off the top of my head.
They were like the Knicks in the 90s.
It was like 22-3 at home, Alex, and then like 3-18 on the road, and you're like, what the hell is going on here? Like, how is this? Like, what? So I'll be curious without fans in the building, and maybe, I mean, this is true too. This is kind of cool, but like if a vaccine is here and it comes and it's paying off, and there's some progress made, and we continue to push forward.
Like the All-Star break or the playoffs, we can have some fans.
Yeah,
maybe most of the stadium filled. Yeah, maybe like things like that.
Something. I mean,
show a vaccine ID card, proof that you got it. You can get in the state. Is that weird that we're gonna probably have another ID? I'm just making that up. I didn't hear that or anything, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? Especially in the beginning, like, hey, did you get your vaccine? Yes, I did.
Yeah. Did you have your vaccine? Did you have it? I mean, there's gonna be all these weird.
What date? Yeah. Is it how many months after? Yeah.
Oh
no, it's not.
I know, but there
feels like we're in a weird Tom Cruise movie, though, man. It's still just, I don't even know what movie. I'm just making up just a weird actor, like just some kind of like bizarro movie, like Will Smith movie. Everybody says that, I'm Legend, but there's no zombies. You know what I mean? But it's just, it's just a weird. It's just a weird world, man. And then I find myself watching. Maybe do you do this too? Let me ask you to do this too. Do you find yourself watching like old movies or videos and stuff like that, and the people at a party, and then in your mind you're like, oh, nobody's wearing masks,
right? Like, all the time, man, all the time, dude. I was watching the Queen's Gambit with my wife, and I'm like, where the fuck is her mask? It's fucking 1967, Mike.
I was just watching before we did this. I was watching A League of Their Own, and I had that scene in A League of Their Own when they were when they go out and they poison one of the ladies that watches them, and they go out to the club and Madonna does the dancing thing. And I'm just like thinking, I'm like, oh man, I wish we were back. They don't have masks on. I wish we were back at this time. They could just go out.
So
like
funny
last year.
It's so funny you say that, because I have had that same thought a lot. I've noticed it like too with like a sitcom, like if you're watching Friends, like because they're in New York or something. I'm like, where's your mask? Where's your mask, Joey? Like Ross is at the coffee shop.
Yeah.
No, I have noticed that, but I heard somebody say, which I like this. It was like this time of this whole thing we're going through. It's like the movies Die Hard and Groundhog Day like had a baby. It's like it's just been bizarre.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. That was like one of my favorite movies. That was my favorite Die Hard.
That's the third one.
Die Hard with a Vengeance. The one with Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah,
so
the third one.
You've got 2 bins of water. You got to get 4 cups in that. You know the thing? I love that.
I'm out here playing kids game at a fucking park. That's like one of my fucking favorite movies. So no, I added Yippee-Ki-Yay to my profile recently. It's one of my favorite movies, like series. Like,
but playing off the combine of that, I'm ready. I'm ready. This is the first for the first time in a while. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready to live real life again. I'm ready. And I know people are like, I've been ready forever. Like, and like I was talking to my wife just before we did this podcast, it's like there's a big snowstorm hitting and we're like bunkering in. I'm like, we've been fucking bunkering in forever. Who cares? Right? Like, what's the difference? It's like, snow day. There's gonna be a lot, which pain in the ass, blah blah blah. But it's like,
no, snow days are over, man. I was talking about that with my colleagues at work today. We had a meeting. We were like, shooting the shit after we're done with what we're talking about, and we're all talking. And we're like, oh, it's gonna snow tomorrow. Make sure you guys get your stuff. And we were joking. We're like, there's never gonna be a snow day ever again. Everybody has work from home laptops now. Most companies, everybody has a way to work remotely. Even schools. There's never gonna be a snow day, and you're never gonna be like, oh, there's 8 inches. I guess I can't make it in. The subways are,
no excuse. Well, the governor of New Jersey said that kids will still have off.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Because it's like, just to be that part of being a kid. Right? Well, part of being a kid is you have those a couple times a year, maybe. You get that,
and they build that into the school schedule to have like 5 days off, 4 days off, for natural disasters or just for whatever reason.
Was there a better feeling than when you were a kid and you found out that there was a snow day, and it was like, I mean, that was, I don't know, like.
You wake up and the snow's coming down and you're like, let's go.
Let's go. The best feeling.
Pull up your friends on the block. Let's go shoveling and make some money. You know what I mean? You run around and shovel everybody's driveways and stuff like that.
So good.
$5-10 a house.
What would you compare that to as an adult? Is there a feeling that's like that as an adult? I would say like an orgasm. I don't know. It's like the same idea. It's different.
Quick. Yeah, it's quicker. A little different. Yeah, and you can plan it a little more yourself. You know what I mean? If you
know
what you're doing.
What do you mean? I have no clue what you're talking about. No, I understand.
That's a different podcast.
Masturbation. I feel you.
Yes. And well, even with a girl. But anyway, so let me. But
lucky.
Oh damn it! I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what a comparison would be. To be honest, as an adult, I think it's maybe like a blackout. You know what I mean? Like you get a black, but that kind of sucks because you're just stuck in your place where you live with no power.
But I'm not even saying like the comparison of the day, the excitement you feel. Maybe it's like if your team wins a last second buzzer beater and you get the win. It's like there's like a feeling, but I can't recreate what that feeling was when I was 11 years old and I found out that there was a snow day, and all of a sudden my Wednesday went from doing this in class and algebra or whatever. 11 years old, I probably wasn't doing algebra. It's arithmetic.
You probably were. You're smart.
No. I stayed back in the first grade, although it wasn't because of the math. The first grade. The first grade, not the 8th grade. Damn it, the first grade.
Can we explain that story so people understand?
You explain it because you're the one that
what podcast are you on? I don't want to botch the name of the podcast you were on.
Now I'm spacing on the name off the top of my head, which is bad because I listened to it today because I was curious what my guys had to say. Because Fireside Nets, which is a really good podcast. I recommend checking it out if you're a Nets fan. Listen to this. Knicks fans might not like it as much, but I like the podcast because it's the Nets. They don't take themselves too seriously. They have fun. It's not like all sports talk.
No, it's good. Yeah.
But anyway, Fireside Nets. Tell the story.
It's a Fireside Nets. So I was listening to their podcast, and so it's Mr. Shah 42 and Alex Wilson ECM. That's their Twitter ads.
And they're brothers.
So they're brothers. Oh, I don't know that. That's cool. So I was listening to it, and I knew you were interviewed on their show. So I was listening to you on there and listening to your interview, and you're like, yeah, well, I was left back in 8th grade and this and that, so I was a little behind going to college and this and that. And I texted you, I'm like, wow, that's that's kind of big of you that you admitted something like that on like the radio. He's like, yeah, I was left back. No, it was like. I was like, what'd you say? First grade? Like, and I was like, oh, that's a big difference between 8th grade and first grade. And I was like, I was laughing because I was like thinking, I'm like, wow. I'm laughing after the fact, but while it was happening, I was like, wow, that's really like impressive because we all have skeletons when we were kids and things we did that we regret that we'll never admit, like on a freaking podcast or radio show that you're interviewed on. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it's just totally different. You're like, did I say 8th grade? And you're like, I had to go back and listen to it to see if you said it.
I don't think there's anything like alarming about being held back in the first grade. Like I wasn't a good
kindergarten, first grade. It's totally normal. It was the greatest move. Not normal, but it happens. It's like normal enough that it's not weird. It
was the greatest great move that happened to me because I met all my best friends that I like, my core friends I still talk to this day, and obviously,
and you're the oldest one in the grade too, right? You're the oldest one in the grade, and that's cool. So you're better at sports than everybody.
Driving, that wasn't the case, but driving first. 21 first. Well, that was in college, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it makes life easier.
I quit drinking at 21, so let's relax. Everybody's got to relax. And nobody drank until they were 21 years old. You know what I mean? So
what are you gonna do on your 2 weeks off?
Oh God,
What are you gonna do?
We got for work. It was great. They gave us they had no Christmas party this year or holiday party, excuse me. And they sent us, they're like, oh, we're sending you a gift basket. What's your address? So we sent them our addresses. I'm like, don't you have my address already? But they sent us gift baskets. And I thought we were joking around like, oh, they're going to send us like apples and bananas or something. And then like, they sent us 2 nice bottles of wine and like a block of cheese. And I was like, wow, that's great. Like now I'm going to drink that when I'm off and it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
What do you have
I'm going to do a lot of this podcasting stuff with you and watching basketball, and my parents are moving. So I'm going to help them move some stuff and just enjoy time off, enjoy my life. It's been a rough year, man. It's just time to turn a page and get into next year. But tomorrow work is going to be tough because it's just going to be like, got to cross all my T's and dot all my I's, make sure all my stuff is covered and my lists are correct, for people to cover me. And it's just, that's going to suck. But at least I got to watch the Knicks preseason game.
Tomorrow?
What? Am I going to sleep in? No, I'm still at work tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, Thursday. But the day's off.
I can't because my dog Ruby, she's like on an alarm clock. Like she's 7 o'clock every morning. She is up, and it's like we trained her unfortunately that way, and we have to try to untrain her. But it's like when you hear her whining, and she has to go to the bathroom, you're just like in the crate, and you just feel so bad. She's 6 months old, so I just feel so bad. She's like, and you're just like, oh, there's no more sleeping.
You a guy that's in the cold weather? Are you putting you have shorts and a jacket, or what's your outdoor move?
I have these like, I'm actually wearing them now. I have these like really, really like not weird looking jeans, but like really light jeans that are like super old that I'm not going to wear like out anywhere. And then I just throw them on and throw a jacket on and with a t-shirt and go out. Like today I went out, and tomorrow, but she's still like wee pad trained. So like she's not fully trained to go outside. So tomorrow when it's a snowstorm, we're going to take advantage of that and like not take her out. Maybe we'll take her out once in the morning in the snow, but we're not going to take her out like 3-4 times in the snow. Like we would if she was an older dog. So we're going to take advantage of being a puppy for a little bit longer while we can, or just turn her into a cat, like you were saying. Sometime.
Yeah, we don't have to go down that road. How about? Well, I was going to say this. I've worn jeans once since March.
Isn't it weird?
That's fact.
It's so weird.
Yeah, and I've put on weight, so I'm terrified to put them on. And then two, that guy that like rips me apart on Twitter. It's a cat guy. So I followed him back. I finally followed him back.
Was that the same one we were talking about? Oh yeah.
I don't know. Okay. I don't know his name. I'm too good to remember. He's a cat guy. How about that? After the whole thing, you like cats.
Like, that's what's his name? He's a Nick fan. He listens to the pod. Jay something, right?
Yeah, he's so obnoxious.
Sorry, I know who you are, my man. I know you're listening.
I don't. I barely remember his name. I don't keep track.
He's cool now. He's
so obnoxious. Oh my god! And after all that, he's like, "You have a cat." I was like, "All right, you're fine. You're cool. I can bond over that shit."
Good people. Yeah, at J Ski 193. That's my guy. He comes after you all the time.
All the time. But I think he means
it's all fun. It's not in like serious, he's just having fun.
So what do you got for the poll question today for us, Alex?
Hold on. Now I got to find what he said to you.
Oh God. Well,
I can't find it. It's too much fun.
What are you looking for in particular?
The one with the cat. The cat. Never mind. This sucks. This is terrible podcasting. Oh, fuck. I hate when you find something and then something popped up. So you posted a picture of your cat with a menorah. It was adorable. He goes TJ and posted his cat, and he goes, you're a dude. Yep, that's my TJ. You go, my guy is Leon. He goes, how ironic that his name is Leon in quotes. He goes, he's named after my best friend, blah blah blah, from Virginia. He goes, I see Leon and I think of Rose, like with a rose emoji. Leon Rose.
Stop it.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna call your cat now from now on, Leon Rose.
Whoa. Don't do that shit. Leon has made an appearance in this podcast. He knows every time we're gonna start this thing. He's like, just goes after me. I think he's in the beginning of this video, he's like biting my arm and I'm pushing him away. Like
he's talking. He's interested. He wants to know what you're doing.
He's hanging out behind the laptop right now that we're recording on. So when we're done with this,
like, yo, what's up? You done? Like, you gonna play? Like, what's going on? Go clean my poops from the bathroom already.
Twice a day. We'll play after this. All right, Leon. Yeah, now he's ignoring me. He's pretending not to hear me because he's pissed.
Leon wants to hear the poll question. Right?
Leon wants to hear the poll question. What you got?
Okay. So Knicks fans, should the below lineup be the starting five for the Knicks when the season starts? Quickly, Ntilikina, Barrett, Toppin, Robinson. Yes or no? What do you think, Juan?
Well, based on what you said earlier, I would say yes.
Yeah, it was yes. And it was only 60-40, actually, yes. So it's kind of split because
or the no answers that are curious. Like, I guess that's more interesting.
My guy at I_AM_33. He goes, switch Ntilikina with Burks for me, and then he goes, then we have another guy, Brutus Gorham at BTRUE2Life. He goes, I hear you, but doubt we will be starting a rookie point guard on opening day. We have Uncle Fulio. He goes, absolutely not. How many games are we going to win with this lineup? And then at HTTP Will. He goes, how many games we finna win with no type of spacing? We don't have enough talent around RJ to make the playoffs and sustain or even reach possibility of becoming a contender. Well, that was the lineup they put together in the offseason. I mean, that was the roster they put together in the offseason. They don't want to win this year. They're tanking in disguise. So that's why the best starting lineup or the most fun starting lineup that you can put out there is not good enough to win a lot of games. Like, what do you want me to tell you?
You sound like Jerry Seinfeld.
Did I?
They're not going to win a lot of games. That's the lineup they put out there. What do you expect? What's the deal? What's the deal with Quickly?
What's the deal?
I
was just about to do the what's the deal thing, but for some reason I've been watching Friends a lot lately, so I almost went, can you be any more annoying? Like I was about to do the Chandler thing, but I went the other way. So anyway, and then we have at Park City Dion. He goes, I like it, but you got to start Burks over Emmanuel Quickly. I definitely think IQ as first guard off the bench. IQ is a great, it's not his nickname, it's his initials, but that's a cool, I
like that.
Initials. You know what I mean?
Except when he's not good, it's like his IQ is 6.
That's actually could be a good headline. IQ -12
right
tonight. His IQ is -12.
What's his number?
Fuck. What is his number?
No, it's fine. Whatever. It's gonna be a low number, I'm sure. It's a guard.
We're doing a lot of Googling and Twittering during this.
That's all you, man. I'm being lazy.
Yeah,
doing everything.
This is the kind of effort I put into the Knicks and into this podcast. Well, he was number 5 in college. There's not a lot of Knicks pictures yet because he only played a couple minutes in one preseason game. Number 5, number 5. There you go. So he took the number from Dennis Smith Jr. Dennis Smith Jr. switched from 5 to 4 this year. Did you know that?
No.
That's pretty exciting stuff.
Did I know that? No.
You're not locked into Knicks Pistons, home and home on the last weekend.
I was the first game I saw a little bit. The second game I did not because the Nets were playing at the same time, and I wasn't.
Yeah, you weren't interested.
I wasn't interested.
A funny story. I think it was my friend Corey. It was either my fiance Hannah or my friend Corey. I don't know who it was. It's pretty different.
But I'm curious to hear what you're about to say happened. We had a lot to drink.
It was during the second preseason game, and it was either a text message or Hannah made a funny thing because she said something.
How can you forget this already? It's been 3 days.
Dude, I have a lot. I'm trying to cross my T's and dot my I's at work, bro. I'm trying to get through it.
Okay,
so
sorry.
so anyway, they're like, oh, it's great that Woodson's back. I was probably my friend Corey. It's great that Woodson's back with the Knicks, but that mask is going to ruin the goatee. Like, how he has that nice goatee. So he's got the mask pressed against the goatee and the thing. And it's probably and after the game, he probably has an indentation in that goatee and probably looks all messed up. You know how pristine that thing used to be. And,
well, he's got to get on. I've seen some of these people. They're terrifying that have masks that replicate their face. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That's so weird.
It's creepy, but he can get one
or
like
something
that.
at a pet store. I saw somebody at a pet store and they had like a cat mask as their face. I'm like,
scary.
What do you like from the documentary? What's her name?
Tiger King.
Yeah, but what was the lady? Whatever, who cares?
I don't know.
Somebody's yelling at the podcast right now.
It's what it was Marianne. It was Marianne and the skipper. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Whatever that nut lady name is.
Yeah, she's crazy. And she killed her husband, fed it to the tiger. No spoilers, but who cares? If you didn't watch Tiger King yet, then you're not going to watch it. There's no reason at this point. Yeah.
Tiger King, Queen's Gambit. There's like Kings, it's Queens. Never mind.
Yeah.
So stupid.
It's a tongue twister. It's really a tongue twister.
All right.
So anyway, LaMelo Ball is the next Jason Williams, and the Nets are going to win 37 games. And
hey, there's only 70. There's only 72. Still over 500.
That's a good record. Yeah, no, it's good. I don't know. So, do you think the Jets won a game over the last 2 weeks? Do you think they won a game?
3
weeks,
games.
whatever it is. 3 games.
It's New England to end the season. I thought how Bill Belichick would it be if on the last game of the season Belichick
he's never tanking a game, and Bill Belichick will never tank a game.
I know.
Ever.
I thought about it.
I don't see that ever. Funny. No, it would be funny, but I don't see that ever.
I don't.
Let's see.
I don't see where there's a win. Their schedule's hard.
Let's see. Fuck, man. Football Reference is the most annoying thing with all of the advertisements or those reference sites, Pro Basketball Reference or Pro Football. You ever
just
do that?
Type in Jets schedule.
I did, and it came up with Pro Reference, so I thought it'd be quick. Anyway, so
you use Google. Or you using Bing?
I'm using Google. Yeah. So they go to at Los Angeles Rams, Cleveland Browns at home, and then at New England. Man, and New England's gonna be fighting for a playoff spot, so they're not gonna tank. Even if they're like 1 game under 500, they're gonna play because Belichick does not want to be under.
Can you imagine Cleveland after what we saw yesterday losing to the Jets?
That'd be crazy.
Impossible.
Yeah, the Jets are gonna.
That's why they play the game. But I mean, come on, this is ridiculous.
The 2 games the Jets had a chance to win this year was that Raiders game and then that Broncos game on the Thursday night. That weird game when they had a 4th string quarterback, Mark Rippon's son or nephew.
It wasn't related.
Yeah, I think it's his nephew or something. Actually,
I think that was people were making that up.
No, I think it really was his nephew. Unless Mark was in on it too. I think he said something about it.
Maybe he was in
funny. Like Isaiah Thomas is not really related to Isaiah Thomas, so but they're friends. So
yeah,
because Anyway, so
no, I don't
think that they win.
You?
No, I do not think so. And they don't deserve Trevor Lawrence either. But so I kind of hope they win because they really, as an organization, I'm a diehard Jets fan, but they don't deserve him. They don't, because organization top to bottom is a mess, and they're gonna try to have like Woody Johnson. I'm coming back and I'm gonna save everything, and I'm the hero coming in. I'm gonna fire Gase. My brother's an idiot, and come back and have Trevor Lawrence and hire. So it's just the same old thing. The coach and the GM are not on the same track.
Can I give you a hypothetical?
Bullshit. Yeah, what's up?
Adam Gase comes back.
Ugh.
But the Knicks make it as a 7 seed.
I would rather Adam Gase does not come back, and the Knicks
don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I'm like, the Jets are like in my DNA. The Knicks are like in my DNA. The Mets are like seeing the Jets like this is just, it like hurts my soul. And like I put on a Jets game now, and it's like a chore. I'm watching, and I'm just like.
Yeah, I know it's bad.
What am I really doing? Like, why am I wasting my Sunday afternoon doing this? You know what I mean? Especially at this point when they're 13.
Jets fan got me this guy. So with Uber Eats, it tells you your projected tip.
And
I did an Uber Eats delivery, and this was confusing because the house numbers. He was ironically. This is what I didn't tell you off the air. This guy lived at 11 Irving Street, and I was like, Kyrie Irving is number 11. This guy lives at 11 Irving. This is such a good sign. So I pulled down the street. It's a dead end, and it says his house is on the left, and the number wasn't there, and the GPS is showing the number on the left, and that's where all the odd numbers were. This guy had number 11, but it was on the other side of the street with the even numbers. I was like, this is very Kyrie Irving, like fucking houses with the even numbers. How am I supposed to find this shit? So I had to call the guy. I was like,
where are you?
I don't see your home. And it never occurred to me to look on the other side of the street. So I'm like, this is the odd side, not the even side. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm over here, blah, blah. And he came out in a Jets hoodie. And I go, here's your food. Like, good luck to 0-16. He laughed. He said, go Nets, because I have my Nets hat on. And then he overtipped me an extra $4. It was from $8 to $12.
See, Nets
Jets made me some money tonight.
That's really funny. That's really funny. There's actually, when I was a kid, not when I was a kid, it's still there, but in Limbrook, off of Broadway, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, there's this one, it's like a main road that goes through, like, from Hewlett through Broadway out to Sunrise Highway. Yeah. And it's a 1-lane road, but it's a main road. And there's like a stop sign, a 4-way stop sign. And at that street, it's Everett Street and Starks Street or something like that. And back in the day, Carl Everett used to be on the Mets, and then John Starks. And it was just like, I remember as a kid seeing that. I'm like, oh, Everett and Starks. That's so cool. And it's just like that. I don't know. That just triggered him.
There's a street in Passaic, I think. I think that's Passaic. It's Knickerbocker Street. And I'm always like, ugh. It was like,
fuck that street. Yeah.
That street. It was like, here's your food. I dump it on the floor and
piece
step
of
on
shit.
it.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And he's like, what? It's the Mecca. It's the Mecca Street. That's what
the
it
Mecca
is.
Street. No, that street was definitely not the Mecca Street. Shout out.
Anyway,
to all my
so we touched a lot of bases here today.
Yes,
that was good.
All right, Bad Weather Fans, episode number 40. Next week we'll be doing our show. We'll record it on Thursday morning. It'll be out Thursday after the Nets play on Tuesday night. The way the league has worked is they're doing some of their marquee games apparently on that Tuesday, and then on Wednesday the regular teams get together.
I knew you were going there.
No, I'll stop it. I'm not.
The good teams play Tuesday.
Yeah, I'll stop it. I'm not going to be a dick because honestly, I'm so nervous about anything. But here's what I'm saying: Tuesday the Nets play, Wednesday the Knicks play, Thursday we'll come out with episode 41, and we'll react to all of it. And then Friday the Nets play the Celtics again on Christmas, which will be fun.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Question before next week. Let's remember this. Well, let's write it down. We'll forget though. So somebody remind me. How many times do Durant and Draymond get in each other's face and argue? Over, under 1.5?
Over
1.5. Really?
Define argue, just
jawing, any sort of jawing at each other.
Yeah, it'll be a couple times.
Not like they stop the game and they're in each other's in the fake NBA fight. I mean, like just getting at each other. Because Draymond's going to do it. Draymond's going to get over. Okay.
Yeah.
And last thing, do you think Durant's going to play center this year? Anytime?
He'll play a little bit of center. Now, if you heard the full quote,
no, I didn't.
He also talked about him playing point guard. He said he's going to play everything. But then
the Nets are just publicity stunting, just to get attention. That's all they're doing.
And I don't blame you because
yeah.
I wouldn't want to listen to these full press conferences. But here's the truth of what my day is like. I'm bottle feeding my son. And you know what's really good when you're sitting there for 25 minutes and you can't do anything I listened to all these Nets media day clips because I got nothing to do.
And you're so hyped up for it too, and you want to inject it in your veins, every Nets thing possible right now.
So like some of these like this Nets Kyrie Irving one, and they're all giving Kyrie shit again. I'm like, if you heard the whole press conference, it was over the top, so nice to the media. It sounded like somebody that was just, he was all over the place. He went from like, oh, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that.
He was acting though. He was doing his acting.
Whatever.
Shtick. The whole thing was a freaking
right. But it's just it's all it is all that. But you know what? It's just got to be result oriented. And I think everybody's forgotten. I think people have forgotten about that. They're like, oh, the Nets are going to be terrible. Look at all this. It's like, if they're going to be bad, it's because it doesn't work. It's not going to be because Kyrie Irving's calling people pawns and putting out a social media post. No, it'll suck because he's injured. Durant's not as good. Like that's why they won't be good. Not all of this other mess. They'll be fine with that. It's just if it's on the court product.
Well, yeah, and it's just now that he's talking to the media, they'll all be together and they'll be fine because, well, I don't know if they'll be fine, but you don't have that brewing thing like if they lose 3 or 4 in a row and Kyrie plays poorly and then Durant has to answer for him. That's when things can get bad.
No, but
that's not going to happen now.
I do think Durant's going to keep him in check a little bit. Like I know there was that one video you were talking about, and you showed where Kyrie's like, I need my post ups. I need my post ups. I want 8 post ups, and Durant's like, you're an idiot. No. Like that, it's not happening. It's just not, you know.
Just play the flow of the game. Play the game and see what happens.
I can't believe it. And I sat there and I watched all of it. And I sat there and watched the whole thing with Karras. And Karras said, "You're my favorite teammate I've ever had." You know, like
well, of course. I mean, they're not going to come on. He's not going to come on his Instagram live show and just be like, "Hey, man, you're a piece of shit. I think you're really selfish, and I think you wanted to trade me for Harden, and I don't know what's your deal." You know,
but Karras was there. He agreed to it. Jumpman Karras. He went on there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's funny because the people that were defending Kyrie and getting his back and like, how could see this? And then like somebody says something about another player or like a media member, you see, this is why Kyrie's not talking. And then Kyrie comes up and he's on the media, talking to the media like 2 days later. And you're just like, see, Kyrie proved this point. Like, shut up. Stop defending everything the guy does. You just look like an idiot. Like, you know, there's so many people out there that just defend everything he does. Like he wanted to shut the league down, you know, during the bubble because he wasn't allowed to go to the games. Give me a break.
People take it too seriously. He's just a loony. He's just having fun.
Yeah, he's something. I think there's something, and that's why I don't want to like make fun of him for that. But there's something's not right.
He looked good. He looked good on Sunday
on the court. Yeah, he did.
So definitely. Good. I think we forgot him.
I mean, he's awesome. He's incredible handles. He's so exciting to watch.
I forgot because one, he didn't play. You know, he didn't play. His last game was in February last year. You know, like he barely played for the Nets, and I don't even think of him as a member of the team from last year. And I was like, whoa, he's good too.
Yeah,
I forgot. He he does more than just annoy people on social media and the media that's so offended by Kyrie because he called you a pawn.
All right, one more over under haircuts for Durant this year, 5.5 over under.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit?
Shave it, Durant. Shave it. Just let it go. Just let it go. Just let it go. Anyway,
under. How many more over unders? You asked me on this podcast episode.
0.5.
And your answer is
under.
This has been episode 40 of Bad Weather Fans with Mike and Alex. Thanks again for coming or for listening to this podcast. Leave a comment on Apple Podcasts. It's greatly appreciated. 5 stars goes a long way. If you've already given a 5-star, and let's say, for example, you're married or in a relationship, take your spouse's phone, download the podcast, and hit 5 stars. Why not? It goes a long way.
You won't even know.
A lot.
Yeah. No, she won't even know. It'll be great.
We'll see you next time, Alex, when we will have regular season basketball to discuss on episode 41. I look forward to it. Mr. Benesowitz.
Yes, got it. There you go.
I can look. I'm ready. Here, you ready? Here we go. Well, I'll put Giannis on the Knicks. Okay, Knicks down by 1. This is the Eastern Conference Finals. They're playing against the Nets. Can they get to the finals? Benesowitz dribbles up the court. Left wing pass to Antetokounmpo. Back to Alex B for the 3.
Bang! That's your brain. You got to do the brain, bro. You got to do the bang.
All right. We'll see you guys
My
next
jumper's
time.
Smooth, man. You don't know about that. You don't know about that.
One day. How about you do a field goal challenge? We'll see that. All right, Alex. I'll see you later.
All right. Talk to you later, mate.
Bye.